The month of March is here, and for many of us, it is our favorite time of the year to catch a bass because, quite honestly, it is the best time, I don't care where you live, to catch the biggest bass of your life. In general, the water and air temperatures are trending in the upward direction, therefore making the bass move shallower, hungrier, and eat a whole lot more lure. So today we're talking about my top lure recommendations for the two sections of the country. For you guys where March still kind of feels and looks like winter, and for those of us where I live, at least down south, where March finally starts to look like spring. My name's Tyler, and let's talk about it.
Another giant, another giant. Look at that, y'all. I can't believe what I just caught. Yes!
And again, I'm gonna split the lure recommendations for this video up into not an exhaustive list, but lures that are better for people who in the month of March, I would say kind of Missouri and above, it still looks and feels like winter. Maybe the end of this month, spring starts to come. But for those of us who look outside and there's weeds on our yard and the trees are budding, where March actually starts to feel like springtime, there's gonna be a whole different list of lures for you guys. Now, today's episode and all of these monthly lure videos are brought to you by the Bass Forecast mobile app. Now, I'm a co-owner in this app. My brains have gone into helping this app make it what it is today. And what it is a weather-based prediction model that uses that weather data to help you understand how the bass may be reacting on your body of water, not based on what lake it is, but based on GPS location, again, from past, present, and future weather data. So if I go to my pond near my house right now, it is a 9.6 rating, and you'll see high ratings all across the board. That is because if I go to the Bass Forecast rating, bass pattern is spawn, it's a full moon, there's high winds that make bass aggressive, a stable barometer, and very favorable water temperature trend. All of those things, the day I'm putting this video out, that's what Bass Forecast is showing, could lead to an amazing fishing day. And if I scroll down, I can look at the lures it recommends for spawn, but if I think, when I get out to the pond, I don't see any fish up on beds, it may be reacting to the weather a little bit too quickly, so I can just toggle back to pre-spawn. And if maybe later on this month, the weather has cooled down, the app still shows spawn, but I think, you know what, maybe the first wave is done, I can go to post-spawn, and it recommends lures for that season as well. We understand that the weather is constantly changing, and our algorithm, even though we're getting better and better with the more years we own the app, it's still not gonna be 100% accurate, but our main goal with Bass Forecast is not to perfectly predict the season, it's to give you a good understanding of where the fish may be in their spawn or summer or fall or winter cycle, and recommend the lures to throw, the places to go, and how the fish should be reacting based on that weather. So I will have it linked down below. The premium version of the app is less than a cup of coffee every single month, and we truly believe the value is there for you guys who download it. And again, I'm a co-owner. I would really appreciate it if you would check it out. Now, without further ado, let's open up this box and start with you guys who live, like I said, in the more wintry section of the country where the month of March doesn't feel like springtime, with my first lure being the flat-sided crankbait. Now, I have to be honest, this lure right here is not one that I've had much experience catching a lot of fish on during the month of March, and that's because I live in Texas. Most of the fishing I've done in the month of March has been in Texas, but a lot of the buddies I know that have open water, especially in that central to kind of northeast region of the country, have caught a lot of good fish on this lure right here. This is the Strike King Hardliner. Now, this just came out, so they haven't caught them on this lure, but a good shallow diving flat-sided crankbait. Now, I've talked about this for the last, I think, 3 months of lure recommendation videos, really for across the country, and it's not like you can't catch them in the South on this. I just have a different category of shallow diving crankbait that has a lot more action, a lot more sound, a lot more wobble to it, and that is what makes a flat-sided crankbait so much better than the other ones for you guys in the places where it still feels like winter, is because those fish may want to chase something, but not something that makes so much noise, that's so intrusive to their areas, that has so much flash. A flat-sided crankbait dives really good, it has a nice wobble, but doesn't have an aggressive side-to-side action. Now, for every single one of these lures, I'm gonna show a fish catch or two from my channel. Again, I've made videos for, I think my channel just hit its 13th anniversary, which is crazy. But I really don't think I have any videos of me catching them on this in the month of March because, again, March for me is when, at least where I grew up in Austin, 4 hours south of where I live now, springtime truly begins and I have a whole new set of lures. But if you live in the north, still throw a flat-sided crankbait. And another lure that you still should be throwing that honestly never really goes out of style, I don't care what time of the year it is, but if you're a live scoper, you need to be throwing the jig head minnow. When I think about lakes like Lake Cherokee or Douglas in Tennessee, anything in that eastern Tennessee area, even like smallmouth bodies of water in southern New York and northern Ohio, those bodies of water are still dominated in tournaments in the month of March by a jighead minnow, and it's because those fish aren't even close to full-blown pre-spawn yet. Tyler Berger from Bass Fishing HQ, he's told me the pre-spawn in his area of kind of Columbus, Ohio, really doesn't begin until like April, maybe even early May sometimes. Now, of course, the spawn or the pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn is a lot more constricted. It happens a lot faster up north than it does down south. But a jighead minnow, again, I don't have a whole lot of catches from my channel in March because I'm throwing a whole bunch of different lures. But if you're not throwing a flat-sided crankbait and a jighead minnow in the month of March, if you live in the wintry part of March, you're missing out. Now, one lure that I do have a few catches on here on the channel when it was in that, again, March time frame, but still really cold in central Oklahoma, is this one right here, and you guys should definitely be throwing it, the suspending jerkbait. Kind of in the same vein, the minnow vein as the jighead minnow, but the suspending jerkbait can be fished a lot more effectively without forward-facing sonar, just by making extra long casts over a shallow tapering point or even a steep bluff wall if your water is still in the 40s. Wherever the bait fish are, the suspending jerkbait is going to shine. Again, with forward-facing sonar, it's hard to beat a jighead minnow, but without it or with it, a suspending jerkbait can be a killer lure to throw, especially if you have brush piles. The bass will definitely be on brush piles in the post-spawn in summer, but it's a sneaky little thing to catch them in the pre-spawn on it, and a jerkbait is one of the best ways to draw fish up out of a brush pile. So finally, here's a catch on the suspending jerkbait I had a few years ago in central Oklahoma in a little nice March cold front. Here's one. That's a big one. He looks like he's hooked better too. He looks like he's, oh yeah, hooked way better. Way better. It's a big fish. Sorry folks, I gotta go land him back in the seat. I apologize. All right folks, lose a big one, shake it off, hook another big one. That's how you know this guy wanted it. That's a fat boy. And finally, of course, this is not an exhaustive list of lures, but one that I have had success on, even in Texas in March. Last year was a little bit colder than usual, and that is a slow-moving, vibrating jig. And the reason why I say slow moving is because this lure can be easily overfished. It can be easily retrieved too fast. And so why am I recommending a suspending jerkbait or a flat-sided crankbait with hardly any action in the same category, the same section of the country as I am a vibrating jig? Because I want you to move it really slow. So maybe that means increasing your weight and decreasing your trailer size so you can get it down in the water column and retrieve that bait ultra slow. Or if you have maybe a light line, go with the same 3/8 ounce of vibrating jig. I have the Tungsten Thunder Cricket, and maybe up your trailer size so it stays higher in the water column, therefore forcing you to slow down to let it sink. I'm telling you, a slow moved vibrating jig can catch the mess out of some fish all throughout the northern de-iced section of the country, all throughout March. There we go. There we go. And that one feels good too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get your stinking hiney in here. Come on now. Absolutely thumped it. You know what? I guess they're gonna like it today. Get in here, my dude. Yes. That's a beautiful fish. Beautiful. Hello. Hello. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Absolutely choked it. Bring it in here. Bring it in. Bring it in. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yes, sir. Let's go. Look at that. Pre-spawn fatty right there. Absolutely choked the Thunder Cricket. If you ever wondered if this fish liked it, he does. And that was way out there. I mean, it wasn't on the end of the cast, but it was close to it. And so I think they're still in deep water staging to get ready to move up shallow. The two that I caught earlier on the swim bait and the Thunder Cricket on the dam, I think those were two just kind of bass that were ahead of the curve. But for the most part, I probably got to go a little slower. And hopefully we'll catch more bass
Like that, yes!
And I believe on that catch on the video you just watched, the fish on that day actually wanted the vibrating jig kind of in a yo-yo pattern. So I cast that out there. I probably caught that one just reeling it, but I caught a decent amount of fish from that pond in March on a slightly colder March than usual by casting it, letting it sink all the way, and then just slowly creeping it, kind of lifting it up, making the blade vibrate, and then letting it sink back down. That is not normal vibrating jig strategy. The default vibrating jig retrieve is to cast it out there and immediately burn it back in. You don't want to do that unless the water is getting ultra warm. So will I throw this in March down here in Texas, even around the spawn time? Absolutely, and I'll go a little bit faster with it. But for you guys where it still looks like winter and still feels like winter, you can throw it, but just go a little bit slower. So for you cold folks in March, that was my 4 lures. Now let's move on to a lot of us who are in full-blown fishing season. I'm talking Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. Our bass are biting, and they're biting good. And I would say tied for my favorite lure during this time of the month, and I talk about it a lot, it sounds like a broken record, that is the Hybrid Hunter. Now, really, when I say Hybrid Hunter, I'm kind of talking about the shallow diving crankbait category as a whole, minus the flat side. So any shallow diving crankbait that has a decent amount, if not a lot of vibration and sound, the Hybrid Hunter has big old 1-knocker beads in there. This thing is loud, it floats fast, and I think my biggest Hybrid Hunter fish ever, yeah, the 10-pounder I caught, you're gonna see here in a second, was caught at the end of March, probably for a bass that was just moving up to spawn. And actually, I caught it on rocks, not grass. This bait is meant to be fished around grass, but don't you think you can't throw it around rocks. So you know what? Let's watch that catch.
Yep, there's one. There's one. There's one. Oh my gosh. Holy cow! Oh my gosh! Holy, dude, I'm not joking you. 10-pounder, 10-pounder, 10-pounder. Holy cow! Oh my gosh! Whoa! 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 Dude, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Woo! Okay. Holy cow! Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Holy cow! Dude, that's a 10. That's a 10, no doubt. I don't know how big this is. I don't think it's a shell lunker, but holy Moses! Oh my gosh! What the heck? That's a 10-pounder. Let's go ahead and get the hooks out here. Yo, I don't know. I don't know, that's a 10.
And again, y'all are probably sick of hearing me talk about the Hybrid Hunter, but it is that good of a bait, and I can't believe so many of y'all are still sleeping on it. As always, my tackle is linked down in the video description. If you want to pick up a Hybrid Hunter, especially this color right here, I believe it's Delta Red. Yes, Delta Red Hybrid Hunter is my favorite color for this time of the year. Now, to kind of stick in the shallow diving crankbait category, one that I don't throw nearly enough now, but especially growing up in middle school, high school, early college, I threw it a ton, and that is the lipless crankbait. Now, these two crankbaits here, both in Delta Red, honestly are kind of interchangeable. The Hybrid Hunter does better around shallow grass than a lipless crankbait does, but do not think you can't fish this thing around the same exact areas you can the Hybrid Hunter, if not this thing being a more versatile crankbait. You cast it out there, super long cast, you can burn it, you can yo-yo it, you can rip it through the grass. Whatever you can do with a shallow diving crankbait, you can do with a lipless. Just understand it does sink. Now, I have masterclass videos on so many of these lures, so if I mention a lure and you don't have confidence with it, or you have no idea how to throw it at all, go ahead and pause this video and just search Tyler's Reel Fishing blank. So Tyler's Reel Fishing chatterbait, Tyler's Reel Fishing jerkbait. I've got masterclass videos teaching all these things. It's been a while since my lipless masterclass video, but I've probably got one. Let's go way back in time on the time machine to one of my favorite catches and days ever on a red lipless.
Oh, that is a fish. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm glad that I didn't rip on that. I was about to rip again, like, oh man, I got stuck in some grass. Oh, another big one. Another big one. Wow. Wow, wow. Oh, woo. Oh my, oh my. That's a 6-pounder. That's a 6-pounder. Bring your fat belly over here. Yes. Yes. Oh. I am just blown away, folks. Look at how that fish ate that bait. Oh, that's a 5.5 pounder.
So that was the shallow diving crankbait category. Can it work up north? It can, but especially if our water is 50s to low 60s, it is absolutely killer. Now, once my water temp gets to, I would say 58, maybe 60, 62, and kind of like the visual thing I'm looking for is, are the trees blooming and are the weeds in my Bermuda grass growing? Now, I don't do nearly a good enough job of what is it, pre-fertilizing or de-weeding my yard in the wintertime. So right now I've got weeds growing. That is telling me that this lure right here can work, and that is the 6-inch stick bait. Now, Tyler, honestly, what could be the difference possibly in fish catching ratio between a standard 4 or 5-inch stick bait, also known as a Senko, and a 6+? I don't know, but I'm just telling you guys, I have so many catches, video after video after video. I could whip 2 right now to show you guys the 6-inch during this time of the year just gets bigger bites, and honestly, the same exact number of bites, if not more, than a 5-inch one does. Now, if I'm going wacky rig, I'm gonna go with a 5-inch, but if I'm Texas rigging this thing, this is the 6-inch Striking Ocho, my favorite version of the 6-inch, yes, even more so than a 6-inch Yamamoto. I found this thing sinks so well, it is tantalizing, especially on a 4-aught VMC heavy-duty wide gap hook. There's enough salt in this soft plastic worm itself that it does not need any kind of a weight. And I don't care if I'm in a big bass boat, a kayak, or fishing from the bank, I've caught fish every single March, and yes, into April and May on this exact soft plastic right here, a watermelon red 6-inch Striking Ocho. Matter of fact, let's see my favorite tournament catch ever, a top 10 finish thanks to a giant bass caught on this.
Big, dude, big. Jeez. Tyler. Yes! That's free. Woo! Dude, that's a... My last cast with this Senko. Thank you, Lord.
Oh my God, power pulls down.
So if you're a 5-inch stick bait lover and you haven't tried throwing a 6 and you live in the spring feeling March of the country, get yourself a pack of these and give them a try. Now, my final category is going to be a topwater frog, but I'm actually going to broaden it into a slow-moving buzzbait and a slow-moving buzz frog. I'm just gonna call it the slow-moving topwater froggy-looking category. If you've got bass moving up into that late pre-spawn, maybe males are making beds time of March, especially when this video comes out, it's a full moon, and I believe April 2nd or 3rd, so the end of this month, we're getting closer again to the full moon. So you're gonna have potentially, by the time this video kind of runs its course, the end of March, you're gonna have potentially 2 waves of spawners move up shallow down south. A topwater frog is a great way to catch, especially a big one. If you've got shallow reeds and cattails or pencil reeds, whatever you call them, on your pond or lake, casting this thing, I'm talking working it really, really slowly, can catch a lot of good fish. I had it happen to me last year several times in March. But one of the pro anglers on the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour that I know best, Ott Defoe, has told me, Tyler, if you're not throwing a buzzbait in the month of March and your water temp is in the 50s and 60s, you are missing out. The big ones will come unglued for a slow moving buzzbait. And so I said, you know what, Ott, I'm gonna try it out. So this March, you're gonna hopefully see a few videos kind of interspersed with ones I've already filmed in Florida, where I'm gonna commit to throwing a buzzbait, especially around cloudier, rainier days, and hopefully I can prove to you guys, as Ott has told me, and again, he's a pro angler, a Bassmaster Classic champion, he knows what he's talking about, a buzzbait catches a lot of fish. Now, kind of a hybrid between a topwater frog and a topwater, it's a frog, it's a buzz toad on a buzzbait, is the brand new, at least for last year, Strike King Rage Buzz Minnow. And I fell in love with this thing in the summertime, making long casts on the edge of aquatic vegetation and really shallow vegetation at that. But this thing can be worked extremely slow across the top, even slower than a buzzbait can. So maybe if I'm making casts over a larger area of grass where the bass could be spawning in little holes of the grass, or a huge section of lay down logs where the bass could be making their nests, instead of I would say not wasting time, but spending a lot of time making a slow retrieve cast on this thing. Maybe I'll make long bomb casts with this, and I'm talking slowly reel it. This little tail on the end here, I don't know if y'all can see that. It actually sounds more like a whopper plopper than you can even imagine. For a soft plastic buzz toad, it's my favorite one out there. And you're gonna see me commit to these two lures a lot more this March than I ever have before. Now, you might see the videos in April, because they're a few weeks delayed, but you're gonna see these two lures catch some bass, I can promise you. Now, of course, that is nowhere near an exhaustive list, especially for the southern region in the month of March. So many lures, so many soft plastics, so many crankbaits and spinnerbaits can work, but those are just my favorites that I have the most evidence of on my channel. Now, one honorable mention that I think all of us need to be throwing is a glide bait. As evidenced by my scaled up series, glide baits catch bigger than average bass. This here being one of the new colors of the Strike King Hogfather. I mean, that's a good looking color. And you're gonna, once again, just like I'm committing to throw these lures more, you're gonna see a glide bait tied on to one of my rods in almost every single video that I film in the month of March, because as you're gonna see by this next catch, a glide bait has the potential in the month of March to catch a giant.
See him? Still? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Gonna both flip them, both flip them. Get him in, get him in, get him in. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! That was awesome.
That was so epic.
That was awesome.
Man.
That's amazing.
Look at that one, dude. Big glide bait. She came up and just crushed it.
Now, if you just take away one thing from this video, take this away, that if you have warm weather leading up to a full moon in the month of March, that can lead to either really good shallow pre-spawn fishing up north, or can lead to a full-blown wave of spawners moving up shallow down south. Matter of fact, the day I put this video out, I'm heading to the lake to catch some giant bass, and if I catch them, I'll post a community page photo on my channel here to let you know these tips actually worked in real time. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Most of the viewers on this channel are not subscribed, and you know what? It costs you nothing, doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps this channel continue to give you awesome free bass fishing content. As always, my tackle is linked down below. Bass Forecast is linked down below. My name is Tyler. It's a dang pleasure. If you want to watch 2 masterclass videos, the vibrating jig and the suspending jerkbait, they'll be clickable in these corners, and we'll see y'all next time right here on TRF.